Hi guys, if you're feeling stuck and bored soloing using the same pentatonic ideas over and over, let me show you how we can flip this scale to use the exact same pentatonic but in a completely different way. Hi guys, Ollie here. So today I want to talk to you about a concept that I call hybrid pentatonics. Now this is the idea of combining two pentatonic scales to hit a certain colour or sound over a particular chord. It's an amazing trick to get the full potential out of the pentatonic scale. It can also be used as a super easy way to play modally. I'll explain that later in the video. Let's get into it. Okay, first off, let's just double check that we are comfortable with the basic structure of the pentatonic scale. It's a 5-note scale and there's a major pentatonic and a minor pentatonic. The major pentatonic is built root, 2, 3, 5, and 6. The minor pentatonic on the other hand is built root, flat 3, 4, 5, and flat 7. So we can play these shapes up and down the neck in various positions. For the sake of this video though, I'll assume you have prior knowledge of these shapes. If not, I have a quick breakdown of these on my website and I'll add a link to this in the description below. Right, so if we have the standard pentatonic scale under our fingers, now we can learn to adapt it. And this is where the magic is. First off, let's start with adding some colour to major and minor chords. We'll start with major first. Okay, let's say we have a basic C major chord. The obvious place to start when improvising over this would be to use the C major pentatonic. It's a nice sound and hits some of the key chord tones of the chord, like the 3rd and the 5th. But it's slightly overused and doesn't really add much colour to the chord. You'll also notice if you were playing over a C major 7, it will sound quite bland against it. Instead, let's try and hit that major 7 sound by using the hybrid pentatonic concept. All we have to do for this is borrow the pentatonic from a 5th away. So a 5th away from C is G, so we'd be playing G major pentatonic. Now that's the notes G, A, B, D, and E. Now over this C chord, this gives us the 5, the 6, the 7, the 2nd, and the 3rd of C major. And by using this, we get this nice C major 7 quality to our lines. As a tool for practicing this, why not set up a 1-chord loop or jam and just practice getting the sound of this in our ears. Should sound something like this. So when you're comfortable with finding this one scale, try combining that G major pentatonic with the C major pentatonic. A good way to do this is to see and play the two pentatonic scales overlaid on top of each other in one position on the guitar. So I could use position 5 for C major pentatonic, the guitarist's comfort zone, and over the top of that I could overlay G major pentatonic position 2. This will give us some really nice approaches to play over a C major chord or a C major 7 chord. So you could try to practice this by using the G pentatonic to step slightly away from your chord and then resolve back by using the C major pentatonic. Okay, so that's the approach for a major chord. How about adding some colour to a minor chord? Well, the concept is exactly the same. We can use the same device, but we just substitute minor qualities for where the major qualities were. This time let's take A minor. Now over the top of that, if we're going to improvise, the go-to would be A minor pentatonic. And now that's a sound most of us guitarists already know, and it's good, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's been done to death. So a nicer choice would be to use the hybrid pentatonic approach. So if we want something a little different, we can try using this hybrid pentatonic concept to start hitting some of the extensions of the chord. So like the major, we take the pentatonic from a fifth away, but this time it's minor. So for A minor, a fifth away would be E minor pentatonic. So that's the notes E, G, A, B, and D. Now over the A minor, the E minor pentatonic gives us the 5, the flat 7, the root, the 2, and the 4 of A minor, and kind of gives us this really dark but beautiful A minor 9 sound. And personally it's this B note here, which I really love against the A minor. So as before, we can just set up a one chord backing track or loop and just practice getting this sound under your fingers and in your ears. Once you feel like you've got this sound, try mixing it with a standard A minor pentatonic. I personally really love moving from the darker A minor 9 sound and then landing back on my standard A minor pentatonic. So now we have some nice hybrid pentatonic ideas as a tool to start hitting some colour on basic chords. Next, let's look at how we can use the hybrid pentatonic as a way of playing modally. I personally love this and use it a lot. First, let's start in a major tonality. Have a listen to this example and see if you can hear which mode I'm suggesting just by hitting the hybrid pentatonic. Okay, so for this really lovely major mode sound, we are this time borrowing the pentatonic from a tone above the chord. So for the C chord, we use the D major pentatonic, and that's the notes D, E, F sharp, A, and B. And over the C, that gives us the 2, the 3, the sharp 4, that's the defining extension, the 6, and the 7 of C major. So in case you didn't guess yet, the mode is the Lydian mode. So by playing D major pentatonic over this C chord, we are suggesting C Lydian. Again, practice this over a one chord loop or backing track and it should give us this kind of sound. Once comfortable, you know what to do. You can start mixing this with the standard C major pentatonic, or even use the C major 7 pentatonic idea from earlier on in the video. This will give us some really nice, spacey, open, pretty Lydian sounds over a C major chord. Something like this. Next, you can swap to a minor mode. If you know the jazz fusion guitarist Scott Henderson, then you've probably heard this hybrid pentatonic before without necessarily realizing it. Have a listen to this example and see if you can work out which minor mode I'm suggesting. You can pause the video if you want and let me know in the comments which mode you think it is. I'll explain this shortly. I'm really intrigued to see if you can hear it. so for this minor modal sound, as with the Lydian mode, we are again borrowing the pentatonic from a tone above. So for A minor, that's going to be B minor pentatonic. That gives us the notes B, D, E, F sharp, and A. And over this A minor chord, these notes give us the 2, the 4, the 5, the 6, that's the important note, and the root of A minor. Okay, so that major 6 sound, that's the defining extension of the minor mode we're suggesting. So did you work it out? Well, the minor mode with a major 6 is the Dorian sound. So by playing B minor pentatonic over an A minor, we have a really nice tool to hit those Dorian extensions. And over an A minor chord, it should sound like this. And again, you can use the standard A minor pentatonic or the minor 9 pentatonic from earlier in the video to really come up with some nice cool lines. So these are the main hybrid pentatonic ideas that I personally use. But you could also reverse the 2 modal ideas that I've just talked about. There's a detailed breakdown of all of this in an accompanying lesson PDF that I've linked below in the description, so feel free to check that out if you wish. Okay, so for a little bonus, we can use the hybrid pentatonic idea for blues playing. This is something I personally use slightly less, but I know plenty of people who do. I won't go into tons of detail now in this video, but for a quick example, on a major blues, we can hit all the nice bluesy crunchy stuff by mixing the minor pentatonic with the major pentatonic. So in the key of A, for example, we'd play A minor pentatonic and A major pentatonic over the 1 chord. Just for example, here's position 1 minor pentatonic and position 1 major pentatonic. Now we can link these to hit some really nice bluesy ideas, as we have both the minor 3rd and the major 3rd, and the 6 and the flat 7. Alright, so we have some really cool sounds to start playing with here. So have some fun exploring this idea and get creative. If you like the sound of the backing tracks that I'm jamming to in this video, they've all been made available on my website for you to practice to, and I'll put a link in the description below. Alongside this, there's an accompanying PDF that I'll also link to in the description below. This just takes you through all the concepts that I've talked through in this video with some extra ideas and examples. So I hope you liked the video. If you feel like you got something out of it, feel free to show your support by hitting like. You can also subscribe, and if you want to stay up to date, hit the bell icon. If you guys know any guitarists or soloists that use this hybrid pentatonic sound a lot, let me know who they are in the comments and I'll check them out. More videos coming soon. Happy guitaring, and I'll see you on the next one.